The City of Menasha is pleased to present video recordings of City Council and City Committee meetings. Menasha residents and interested parties can get information about city meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the city website, www.menashawi.gov. Expression of opinions regarding City of Menasha issues or about these broadcasts can be made by contacting the Mayor's office, 920-967-3608. Contacting their city alderman. Contact information appears on the city website. Or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.
All right, well, good evening. I'd like to call the City of Menasha Common Council meeting to order. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Snyder, if we could have the roll, please.
Alderman Grady? Here. Alderman Rapella? Here. Alderman Nichols is absent. Alderman Eismack? Alderman Sevenik? Alderman Perkins? Alderman Lewis? Alderman Marshall? 7 are present.
Thank you. Next, item D, public hearing. We do have one public hearing item, and Public Works Director Merton graciously offered to give a little context as a member of the Plan Commission, so I will turn it over to Director Merton.
Thank you, Mayor. The public hearing before you is related to an electronic message center or a sign. It's on behalf of St. Joe's Food Program, and the reason for the public hearing is because there is a special use permit before you later in this agenda, in which the St. Joe's Food Program is proposing to have an electronic message center within 300 feet of a residential use or district as required by Section 13-1-67 sub D1 of the City of Menasha Municipal Code. My understanding is that the center, the electronic message center, went through the Board of Appeals, and they had approved a variance for a wall-mounted electronic message center, and that unit will be located at the St. Joe's Food Pantry. And apologize. I guess we can go from there.
All right, thank you very much, Director Merton. So I will open special use permit, electronic message center sign 1465A Opportunity Way, parcel number 6-01269-89. And again, the special use permit is open for the public hearing. Would anybody in the gallery wish to speak this evening on the public hearing item? Going once, going twice. Going a third time, seeing none, this public hearing is closed. Next, we'll move on to E, which is report of department officers, department heads, staff, and consultants. Is there a motion? Alderman Sevenik.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like for us to approve the minutes A through D and communications E through J.
Motion was made by Alderman Sevenik and then seconded by Alderman Grady. Is there any further discussion? Alderman Sevenik.
I want to, and maybe I can do this towards the end of the meeting also, but the redevelopment authority is my understanding that the Nicolay building was sold to another group, and all that work we did with the redevelopment of those condos is not going to happen. And so it was sold. I need to get some update. Did we make that commercial? To me, we shouldn't do that until we have a project in place, and I thought they were going to build condos there. So for the next council meeting, and maybe I'll bring it up at that one part, Mayor, where you've added now, where we add additional matters to the agenda or whatever, but I find that a little disheartening because to me it would have been a major thing for the city, and now it sounds like a cleaning outfit or something's going in there. So.
Yeah, I agree with the disappointment on that. So if later on that's where you'd like to address that,
Okay.
I'll follow that. Is there any other discussion related to?
Yeah.
Yes, Alderman Seven.
So the chief is going to introduce the community liaison officer to us. If he'd want to do that at this point, up to the front of the mic so that he can be on TV and have a speech ready, not making you nervous or anything.
Good evening. So recently, our department had the privilege of going through a hiring process for our new community liaison officer position. And we are pleased to announce that on January 5th, we swore in Matthew Rowe. Matthew is a 20-year veteran in law enforcement. He was previously a supervisor with UW Oshkosh Police Department for about 3 years, and prior to that, he was with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and Murfreesboro Police Department in Tennessee, where he spent the majority of his law enforcement career. Matthew has been the recipient of several formal awards during his law enforcement career, to include being named SRO of the Year or School Resource Officer of the Year, an SRO Impact Award, a Life-Saving Award, and among many other achievements. Matthew is a graduate of Bethel University, where he received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and Trinity Law School in Santa Ana, California, where he received his master's degree in legal studies. We're excited that Matthew is joining our team, and we're excited for his shared vision with our community liaison officer position. With that, I will turn it over to Matthew.
All right, thank you, Chief. My vision for the role as the CLO, Community Liaison Officer, is as the CLO for the Menasha Police Department, where my role is not just communicating, it is about solving problems and addressing the complex dynamics between the police and the community we serve. Throughout my 20 years in law enforcement, I've seen firsthand the challenges and opportunities in building strong and effective relationships. I believe my role in our community is to use my experience to ensure that the Menasha Police Department is a proactive partner in the community, working with residents, schools, businesses, and local organizations to create solutions to the issues that matter most. In this position, I view myself as a problem solver, working to bridge gaps and create avenues for collaboration between the community as a whole and the police department. There are often misunderstandings and, unfortunately, sometimes mistrust between law enforcement and the public. And my focus is on removing barriers and fostering transparent, effective communication between everyone. I want to highlight the good work the Menasha Police do every day while addressing the complexities of policing in a rapidly evolving community. Drawing on my experience as a school resource officer, where I work directly with students, parents, and educators, I understand the importance of building relationships grounded in trust and mutual respect. As the community liaison officer, I see this role as an extension of that same principle. I am committed to empowering the citizens of Menasha, offering them the resources, information, and partnership they need to collaborate with the police department. My goal is not just to inform, but to involve the community in solving problems and making Menasha a safer, more connected place. One of my key priorities is to bring education and engagement directly to the people of Menasha. I plan to host courses and workshops at the Menasha Police Department, providing the community with the tools they need to better understand law enforcement, work with the department, and navigate critical issues like public safety, crime prevention, and youth engagement. These efforts are not only about addressing immediate concerns, but also about empowering the community to actively participate in building a safer and more cooperative environment. My view for the position can simply be stated as this: the CLO position is about working with the community to find solutions, addressing the complexities of police work and community needs, and ensuring that every voice in Menasha is heard, understood, and valued. The Menasha Police Department is here to serve, but we're also here to partner in creating lasting and meaningful changes. You guys can be open to email me My email address is on the website. You can find me in the set network server. And if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out, and I will respond as quick as I can.
Thank you very much and welcome. We're excited to have you with Menasha PD and part of the city of Menasha. Is there any further discussion? Alderman Rapella?
Thank you very much, Mayor. So Matt, right? Matt?
Yes, sir.
So go through a normal day for you. What would you be doing?
My normal day, I would start off seeing what's happened in the city in the last 12 to 14 hours since I left the police department. I would go through the calls. I would see where we can make connections with some of their services, such as the Mental Health Navigator or the MCAT program, and make sure those referrals are made and make sure that information gets relayed back to the officers and kind of serve as that go-between. Also, I will be attending numerous meetings throughout the day and throughout the week with various community organizations and just developing those relationships to further strengthen that bond between the police department and the community. I will also be sending out weekly crime blotters that have a recap of all the calls that happen throughout the week.
We have been getting that by, trying to think who the person is, but we get those every Monday. Sharon.
Yep. And I was just going to add a little bit more to it, kind of rechange the format. On a weekly basis, I'm going to be issuing out a weekly newsletter for the police department employees. I'll be helping out wherever I can within the department as needs arise. And a lot of my day-to-day activity depends on what I have going on that day as far as meetings scheduled, organizations that we are partnering with to bring changes to Menasha.
Have you started yet, or you just?
I've been here for 3 weeks.
Okay. How was your 3 weeks spent?
It's been great. Love it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
No problem, sir. All right. Anyone
Thank
else?
you, Alderman Rapella. Is there any other discussion or questions? All right, seeing none, thank you very much, and we're excited to have you. Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. Next, we'll move on to F, which is public comments on any matter of concern to the city. We would just ask that you come up to the podium, state your first and last name, address, and you're free to speak for 5 minutes. Does anybody in the gallery wish to speak this evening?
Crystal Oaks, 388 Nassau Street, Menasha, and Winnebago County Supervisor, District 2, and I'm up here again. So the Foxwolf Watershed gave a presentation at the Winnebago County Land Conservation Committee meeting today. And first I want to apologize, the sound cut out for 10 minutes, and it didn't record either. So the man who gave the presentation, Chris Acey, says contact him with any questions. The goby you would most hurt, the panfish. The most important thing that I got from this presentation is that figuring out how to open the Menasha lock is not a priority. And if we want something to happen with that lock, we're going to have to make noise about it. So I would, the man who gave the presentation today, his name is Chris Acey. I will give the clerk his information. If you guys want a presentation, he will give it to you. I think that we really need a open to Menasha presentation given at like the library. And I believe I have just volunteered myself to organize that. It's probably sometime in March or April, and have him give the presentation to any members of the city or Nina or anybody who's going to be affected by this, in order to get us to bug them about and try to find solutions in the community. Winnebago County still has ARPA funds left over. So that's my plan at this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else in the gallery wish to speak this evening? Going once, going twice. All right, seeing none, we'll move past the public comment section. We'll move on to G, consent agenda. Is there a motion? Alderman Sevenick.
It just disappeared. There you go. Thank you. At this time, I'd like for us to approve the common council minutes of 1/2025.
Is there a second? All right, motion was made by Alderman Sevenick, seconded by Alderman Rapella. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, if we could have the roll, please.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. All right, I think hopefully that'll work moving forward. Next is item 2 of the consent agenda, and this is from the Planning Commission, and this was what the public hearing was about earlier in this meeting. Is there a motion? Alderman Eisenach.
Thank you, Mayor. The Plan Commission recommends approval of the special use permit for the wall-mounted electronic message center as presented for St. Joseph's Food Program located at 1465A Opportunity Way, parcel number 6-01269-89, noting that it meets the 5 criteria outlined in section 13-1-11B with the following condition of the completed sign permit application and payment be submitted prior to the installation of the new sign.
The motion was made by Alderman Eisenach, seconded by Alderman Perkins. Is there any discussion? Alderman Sevenick.
Thank you. I noticed that in a number of other signs like this, and maybe you can help me with this, was there any discussion of a turn off time? Because, for instance, the high school has to have theirs off. I was looking, I couldn't find it, so if it's in there, I apologize. It is. And what time? Yeah. Does anyone know? Do you? I just want to make sure that, because I didn't see that as one of the conditions.
If I could interject, yeah. My understanding is there is a requirement in code, and that's as to a certain set of times, and I apologize, I don't have that in front of me at this moment, but my understanding is it's those times that are set in code are going to be followed with this installation.
I think Alderman Lewis is right. I think it's 10 o'clock somewhere. But I wanted to make sure that if we don't have that within our code, that we put that in our code. You know what, I mean, where it's facing may not affect the people behind them, but who knows? Those things can be kind of bright, and I understand if they're open 24/7, that's different, but if they're not, then they should be turned off. So that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, for whatever it's worth, I do recall conversations with the time specific, though, like, for whatever reason, I'm drawing a little bit of a blank on at the moment. I think, yeah. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, if we could have the roll, please.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Next is 3, another item from the Plan Commission meeting. Is there a motion? Alderman Eisenach.
Thank you. The Plan Commission recommend that Common Council approve the certified survey map as presented to reestablish the Water Street and Barlow Street Road right-of-way.
Is there a second? Motion was made by Alderman Eisenach, seconded by Alderman Marshall. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, if we could have the roll, please.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Next is I, action items, and we have one, which is accounts payable. Is there a motion? Alderman Eisenach.
Thank you. I'd like to move to approve accounts payable and payroll for the term of 1/17 to 1/30/2025 in the amount of $1,498,389.86.
Motion was made by Alderman Eisenach, seconded by Alderman Perkins. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, if we could have...
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. And then next is M, which is claims against the city, and it has been some time, so I think I would turn it over to Attorney Struve.
Thank you, Mayor. What's before you this evening is a memo regarding a claim that the city received. The incident occurred on October 2nd, 2022. The recommendation, let me back up. As Mayor indicated,
The standard practice, excuse me, sorry, I didn't push my button. Standard practice is really not to discuss it. It's just to advise them of their statutory rights, and then we just move on. Otherwise, if we discuss it a little bit, it could be something on video or in court, and we don't want to do that.
I thank you for correcting me, Attorney Struve.
I understand you asked her, but I think it would be best we just don't discuss it.
I appreciate that, and I would just like to clarify two things, if I could, prior to council taking any action this evening. One, the threshold for me to make these decisions without this coming before you, a $5,000 amount. For those of you that were not aware of that. So prior to this coming before you, there's a certain threshold and a dollar value of that claim. The claim amount here is just over $50,000. That was not made clear in the memo. So providing that information to you, I think, is key for me. And then also, in terms of nope. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Attorney Struve, and thank you, Alderman Sevenick, for
Thank
the
you.
point of clarification.
Okay, thank you. So for the newer council members, the mayor's absolutely correct. I have not seen one of these in maybe the last 3 or 4 years. So basically, all this does is we advise them of their statutory rights to go to court, basically. So that's all we do. We don't talk about it. The other thing, too, we don't talk about it in the public. If one of these people call you, you don't talk about it, you refer them to the city attorney. Okay. So, Mayor, at this time, then I'll make the motion that we issue a formal notice of disallowance for the claim of Joseph Burns, and that he be advised of his statutory rights pursuant to Wisconsin statute, which is 893-80.
Is there a second? Motion was made by Alderman Sevenick, seconded by Alderman Perkins. I guess let's move to a roll, please.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Clerk Snyder. Next, we'll move on to N, which is public comments on any matter listed on this agenda. Does anybody in the gallery wish to speak to anything on this agenda in specific? Seeing none. Next would be items for the next agenda meeting or to adjourn. Alderman Sevenick?
As you recall, earlier in the meeting, we were talking about that property. I would like for us to get an update on what's happening with that. And I know it's going through the RDA, but we should be advised of what's happening with that property. because we put in a lot of work to have this development, and then the property gets sold, and they got the building for a song. That's my personal opinion. It's not the council's. So I would like that. I don't know if we have to vote on that or not.
If you want it under this as items for next meeting agenda, I would ask for a motion and a vote
I'll
on
make
that,
the
please.
motion that we place that particular RDA Nicolay school building and project on the next agenda.
1 second. And then is that a communication, just an update of what took place?
Yes, I'm looking more for a communication. I don't think we need to be in the discussion.
I would agree. I appreciate the clarification. Alderman Sevenick and Alderman Marshall, was that a second? Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
I do have, although I did talk to you today.
Well, we need to vote on this first if there's something else.
You said, is there anything else?
On this topic, sorry.
Yeah, let's vote.
If we could have the roll, please.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, clerk. Okay, and that passes. Is there anything else? Alderman Sevenick.
Yeah, you and I talked a little bit today about the roundabout. It's been, it'll be 2 years in, I believe, April. And the roundabout is what Alderman refers to as the anthill, nothing special about it. So I would like for us to form at least maybe some type of community committee along with maybe an alderman or two and staff that we come forward with something. I know this isn't a motion, I'm just throwing this out first, to get that moving.
Okay, yeah, I know we talked about it earlier and I was looking through the
Maybe
code.
I don't have to make a motion or anything, but if you wanted to put something like that together, I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
So we need to move forward with that. And then the other thing would be the updates with the bridge. Are you going to come forward with something for our next meeting?
I sent the communication to you all and in there indicated that that would be in March.
Okay, I didn't get that. So, I mean, I'm sure I did. I just didn't look at it. Was
Okay.
that today?
Yes,
Okay.
earlier today.
So you're going to wait till March?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know, how does the rest of the council feel okay with waiting till March to get updates on the bridge? All right.
I appreciate the patience and collaboration, and then regarding the roundabout, was looking, I think, special committee of a resolution or some sort to establish that for the roundabout at a future meeting as appropriate, so I will work on that, and if you're willing to work on that with me, that sounds great. Is there anything else? All right, otherwise I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All those in favor? Those opposed, we adjourn at 6:28. Thank you all.
The City of Menasha is pleased to present video recordings of City Council and City Committee meetings. Menasha residents and interested parties can get information about city meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the city website, www.menashawi.gov. Expression of opinions regarding City of Menasha issues or about these broadcasts can be made by contacting the Mayor's Office, 920-967-3608. Contacting their City Alderman. Contact information appears on the City website. Or by completing the electronic feedback form on the City website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.